Hello, 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 Joe Delaney. I hope you all can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Can you drop a one in the chat if you can hear me? If anyone's here? I'm nervous. Ah, I thought I started, but I forgot to hit go live. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Thank you, son. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I wanted to come on and I have to get used to this. Hi, the Bud Files. Amboy's Corner, Yomi Hunter, Blessed Life Journey, Lisa J. Stocks. Ah, I have to get used to going live. I hope everyone's having a great evening. Yes, thank you for coming. I appreciate you all being here. Okay, okay, okay. I hope everyone's having a great evening. I wanted to come on here, as I said last week. Um, as I said last week, I want to do a series of um, just telling my story. My whole purpose for my channel is I want to inspire a positive, healthy lifestyle. That is the structure of how I set out my life, basically, quite honestly. And I overthink things, and because I'm trying to go live more often, I start overthinking and trying to do things like everybody else does. And I had to just today, I've been going crazy because, again, I'm trying to overthink everything. And I had already set out that this is what I wanted to do, and I'm not going to overthink it. I decided probably about an hour ago after all day just racking my brain. I decided about an hour ago, look, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to keep going. Everything that I plan to do, I want to continue doing. And I just have to just continue. I just have to continue, what I set out to do. So, uh, thank you all for being here. I want to welcome you. I set out to do a series basically of introducing who I am. I'm Joe Delaney, and I'm setting out to. I want to set out to share more of what I'm here for. Um, I have basically always wanted to inspire others and show how I have just set out my life, literally. I set out my life from a young girl, and I was on a road going really nowhere. And it wasn't until I was already in my 30s that I decided, you know what, I have to get it together because I found myself at a very obese weight, and I was literally over 500 pounds, and I had to do something about it. And so I have pretty much I have pretty much maintained what I've been doing, but I have to just make sure that I let everyone know that this this transformation for me, it wasn't only about weight loss. It was about healing. It was about growth, and it was about just I had to get to a point where I had to figure out what got me to that point. And that's why I want to share this. This is why I want to get on here and share my transformation story. I it just it's so much more to me than just weight loss. I know I'm not. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Amboy's Corner. I am so sorry. Thank you. Good evening, Miss Wellness with Frugal Mama. Thank you for being here. I'm so honored, honestly. Um, but everything that I've set out, and I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm not a health coach. I'm not a physical trainer. Um, there's others that have helped me along the way for that. But what I am is someone that figured out that I needed some healing. And in that healing is where I found that I needed to heal that inside of what the reason that it got me to the place that I was at. Um, so I've talked about it so much. I've talked about it a lot. And today I wanted to give you a visual, um, a pretty, I mean, I think for me, it would come across better if I just visually showed you exactly where my transformation or how I talk about my transformation, right? Um, in a lot of ways, some people wouldn't understand, right, what I'm talking about. But that's the reason that I wanted to give a visual so you could see better of what I was talking about. I am so thankful that everyone's here, though. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Um, Lisa, thank you for the tips, by the way. I truly appreciate it. And Voice Corner, I'm just so, I'm just so amazed that you guys are here. So, let me set out. Basically, I was looking through a lot of pictures, and back in the day when I was growing up, I didn't have vis. We didn't have cameras. I mean, like recording, right? So my content wasn't really videos. And shoot, I grew up before cell phones. I tell my son all the time, I'm older than Google, and it's true. Hey, Kevin, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. My client, everybody in the chat, as well as mods, love and respect. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Miss Wellness with Frugal Mama also, she gave greetings to everyone. Happy Thursday, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Um, so I truly appreciate everyone. So when I was growing up, I was saying I didn't have videos, and I actually had a lot of camera pictures. So I had uploaded them to my phone, just basically taking pictures of pictures, right? And that way I could have like visual, um, I honestly recently I found a lot of pictures of me when I was little, um, when it all pretty much began. And that was the reason, that was where I got the idea. You know what? Let me just share more of how it all started for me. Um, I mentioned a lot that one of the things that I had to do is I had to dig deep and figure out, Joe, how did you get to 30 years old and over 500 pounds? Right? I mean, why? And I don't think that there was a time until I actually started trying to realize, you know what, I need to lose some weight or I need to do something different, right? Until that's when I started like digging deep and figuring out, you know what, I had some problems when I was a child, and I went back searching on, nurse records and things like that, right? And I literally found nurse records. They When I was in elementary, they used to check our hearing, they used to check our height, they used to check, do our weight, the nurse. And I had records from elementary where I literally noticed that when I was 9 years old, and I'm going to give numbers so you can understand. When I was 9 years old, I was about 95 pounds. Okay. At 10 years old, a year later, when I went to the nurse, I had literally jumped in weight in a year, and I now weighed 175 pounds. Okay. And I remember looking at these records, right? I'm looking at these records, and I said to my dad, Dad, you didn't notice anything was wrong here? You know? I mean, from 95 pounds at 9 years old to 175 pounds at 10 years old. And to give you an idea, I have pictures. So let's get into that. Okay. One of the things that I realized, something happened when I was 9 years old that just, threw me for a loop. It just like one of those that just ground shaking and ground breaking, right? But I basically realized that I was using food for comfort, right? I know you guys probably have heard those, that saying before, but I pretty much use food for comfort at that age, though. I wasn't somebody who yo-yo dieted through my life. Right, right. I'm at 30 years old now. And from 10 years old, I had just continued to gain weight. There was never any up and down. There was never any Joe's trying to get on a diet. There was never, from that point on, I just kept going up. And so you figure at 10 years old, I was 175 pounds. By 30 years old, I was 34 years old. I was literally 525 pounds. And so that tells you like a whole scenario of I literally continued to gain weight. And it was all from that incident that had happened when I was 9 years old. See if that works. Can you guys see that? Okay. So I can see that. Okay. Can you see that better, Lisa? If you can help me, I'm sorry. I think I'm sharing this picture. I'm standing here and I'm literally 10 years old here. I hope everyone's not gone. I apologize for that delay. But I think I got it if I just share one at a time. Okay. So I'm literally 10 years old here. Um, this is when I'm already 175 pounds. Yeah. Okay, good. So, um, but of course, I started out just like a normal child. This is I really this is really wanted what I wanted to do. I wanted to just share, some of these pictures, and that way I could give more of an more of a visual. I'm currently I'm 5'3". I'm 5'3". So I wasn't a tall, I wasn't going to be a tall kid, right? Um, but this was me at 3 years old, you know, before anything happened in my childhood. I was a normal little girl. So when kids are born and they're really pudgy and everything, I actually started out pretty good, right? For a little girl. And I really actually was, like I said, I was pretty good up until that point. But at 10 years old, I literally had doubled in weight by my 10-year-old, by my 10 years old. And it pretty much went from there. I do want to, I'm going to go ahead and continue just showing pictures and just giving an idea of how I was going. So this is that 10-year-old kid. You wouldn't have thought anything was wrong. You wouldn't have thought anything had just happened in my life. Um, but honestly, yeah, didn't I? I thought so too, Miss Frugal Mama. It looked really tall, but I don't know exactly how tall I was then, right? Um, I really don't know exactly how tall I was at that time, but currently I'm 5'3". And I think honestly though, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When I was 500 plus pounds, and it's one of the things that my doctors did tell me that because of the weight loss, I did lose some inches in height. And if you think about it, there is some fat on the feet also. And I remember at one point that I wrote, or I don't know if um, I was actually that tall or not, but I remember at one point being 5'5", right? And I really do. Just as I'm thinking about it, honestly, I remember at one point being 5'5", but I literally have asked, and there's other people that I have talked to that have lost weight, and extreme weight, because like I said, I was 525 pounds at my highest recorded weight, right? So, and but literally I've been 5'3", since I dropped my weight. And the thing is, I have maintained. I've maintained at least for the last 2 years. I've pretty much maintained. And and I will tell you that when I literally um I literally hit the weight that I was at 10 years old, it was very surreal for me. It really was. That was like, how do you like it was like full circle for me. And I'll tell a story. This is as I'm growing. This is the next year on, after I was 10 years old, and this is the following year. And I just continued to go get, get larger as the years went by. I literally cannot tell you that from that point on, like I did not start going down at all. I mean, and I share that because I know there's a lot of women who will say, "Oh, I was a yo-yo dieter and I tried different fad weight diets." Um, I don't know. I can't even think of some diets right now, but I really, I really never. I grew up in a family bakery. We had a Mexican bakery, so I would get up every morning. I lived with my grandparents and we would get up and we would go literally to the bakery and help, you know, prepare the bread. And that's why one of the things that I've mentioned is that my grandfather used to tell me, Joanna, don't eat the hot bread, you know, from as soon as it comes out of the oven. But, you know, I didn't listen. I just ate the hot, cookies. It was the best, right? The hot cookies and donuts. I mean, it was something that, I mean, I didn't think there was anything I couldn't have, right? Because it was hot and fresh, and I just continued to go, gain weight as the years went on. Um, and you wouldn't have known. You really would not have known that I had any issues. I When people talk about, I mean, that's one of the things when people talk about using food for comfort, you better believe it. um you can it's like an addiction of sorts, literally. You can eat and not, I mean, nobody knew I had any issues at all. From that point, those were all elementary pictures, that of mine. And you wouldn't have thought that that there was any issues. I Later on at I got married and I was 21 years old. Okay. And so this is 21-year-old Joe. Can you see me? I now have to wear glasses to see far to drive. And I was married. I literally, at this point in my life, I literally had only had one boyfriend, and that's the boyfriend that I had in high school, um, my senior year. And I literally thought that only he liked big girls. I come from a really small country town in South Texas. And it wasn't many, and when I was little, it wasn't many that paid any attention to me or anything like that, I'd say. And so I really had not dated or anything. It was just the one boyfriend that I had, and I was a senior in high school. And so um, I had this boyfriend on and off. It was an on and off thing for about 6 years. Um, I was 17, and hey, sis, thank you for dropping in. Um, I'm here giving a visual basically of my journey and my transformation. Um, I'll give I don't know if you were listening, but I've been basically just showing that, I've talked a lot about my weight gain started from when I was a child. And I recently came across a lot of actual pictures from when I was a child. And it was very, 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 very true. Just being able to see those pictures, because like today we have video, we have, you know, pictures like on contact. And back then in my time, we didn't have all that. But being able to just view these pictures and being able to upload them on my computer, I mean on my phone and computer now, um, it was something that I wanted to actually visually show the transformation that I've done, because I think that just that is just something more powerful in sharing my journey and sharing my story, you know. And so that's why I wanted to share all of this today. I shared some pictures already of when I was in elementary, and I was basically, I don't know if I have told you this before, sis, but from 9 years old to 10 years old, I went from 95 pounds to 175 pounds at 10 years old. And you wouldn't have, I mean, just looking at me in any of those pictures, you wouldn't have known that there was anything wrong, right? But it wasn't until here I'm 21 years old, I've just gotten married. Um, to the one boyfriend that I had had, in high school and then after. And it was an on and off thing. It was red flags going everywhere. That, Joe, first of all, was not in any place that needed to be making these big decisions that I made at that time. But there she went, and I was married at 21 years old. And so I don't regret anything. I don't say that, any of the things that I've been through in my life, I have no regrets. I would never, ever say that I have any regrets. But I want to go ahead and pause there because, all of this is very, very, it is very, very deep for me. It's very deep in, I do have one more though, around that same time when I first was married. Um, Here's one other picture that I do want to share from when I was married. Then, yes, very very nostalgic memories. Um, but I was you wouldn't have known though. It was something that you just would not have known that there was anything deeply going on with me. At the time, my best friend was my husband. Um, like I said, he was my one first only boyfriend since I was a senior. And like I was mentioning, I come from a really small country town in South Texas, and he was the only one. I literally remember thinking, he's the only one that likes big girls. He's the only one that would ever like me. So those are thoughts that I had, literally, that I'm remembering. I had those thoughts that's why, I guess he's the only one. Nobody else would like, big girls. I mean, literally, that's the way I thought. Those are those insecurities. And I promise you would never have thought guys, I had a nickname for myself. I called myself Brittany the Beautiful. Where I got Brittany from, I don't know. I don't remember. But I mean, these are things that I'm remembering right now. I used to call myself Brittany the Beautiful. I don't know if y'all ever were in the era back then. I made t-shirts, and it was paint. I would draw on t-shirts with paint. I don't know, it was a certain time. It was in the 80s, and it was t-shirts, and I would use paint to do designs on t-shirts. And I would literally sign my t-shirts with Brittany the Beautiful. I mean, I you would not have known the insecurities that I carried then. You wouldn't, I mean, other than when I look at pictures of myself, and this is God's honest truth, when I look at these pictures of myself back then, I literally, and I felt this too. I remember feeling this. I felt like I was trapped in a big body. I really did. I mean, that is something that, like, I feel like really trembling inside right now because I'm literally remembering those thoughts. When I was that big, I remember, okay, this is a thought, this is a memory that I remember back then. Me and my husband, we would go out. This is in my 20s, right? We would go out, and I remember being at a piano bar. Okay. We're at a piano bar, and I don't know, and this is in Austin, Texas. Um, they get really, really packed with people. And it was a piano bar, and so they're playing the piano. I'll give you the scenario. They're playing the piano, and there's people just all around, literally just standing, drinking, and listening to the man play the piano, right? And so we're at this piano bar, and it's packed. It's packed of people in there, right? And there's a lot of people in there, um, and we're trying to get through. And if you can imagine, just a packed house of people, and they're just listening to piano, to a man play piano, right? And it's live though, right? He's playing piano live, and people drinking, and it's just you're trying to get through, and being, I mean, look at me there in this picture that you can see up on the screen, being that big. So I'm carrying stomach weight, right? I'm carrying the stomach weight and everything, and I'm passing through, and I'm trying to get through a lot of people, and I'm following my husband, and he's going before me, and he's getting me through, and I'm going. And this I remember this memory. There was someone who I brushed up against, and well, my stomach brushed up against them, right? And they were annoyed. They turned around and were annoyed because I hit them with my stomach. I literally remember telling my husband then, after that incident, the way they looked at me, and I just looked at them. I didn't give them any bad look or anything, but I knew that they were really annoyed with me. But do you know that I literally passed through, and I felt like I was inside this huge body, and that body was there hitting them. Like, I literally felt that. I felt it was a surreal feeling then, um, that I remember the memory. I remember just passing on through, and you're thinking, you're thinking you're passing through, and I'm really being able to brush through these people, but my body was there, and it hit that person and annoyed them, you know. And I didn't feel that though. I didn't. I felt literally that was the first memory that I have where I felt like, or I realized that I felt like I was Joe in this big body around me. That's how I felt at that time. Right there, I'm leaving work. My cousin was picking me up from work, and I worked for a grocery store. I worked in the deli, in the bakery deli. Um, and my cousin actually had this picture of me she had taken as I was walking out of the grocery store. And so that's what you see there. I'm leaving from, I've worked all day. Guys, the whole time I was married to my first husband, I was married for 8 years. I had two jobs the whole time. This girl right there. I had two jobs the whole time. I worked this grocery store. I worked at the grocery store from 3 to 11 in the evening, literally. And then I had to get a second job. And so I got a second job that started at 7 in the morning, and I worked until 2. So I worked 7 in the morning till 2, but that job was like a sedentary job, right? I uh I was actually a long distance operator. Do you guys remember those? Do you remember having to call an operator to make a long distance call? Yes, I'm telling my age, okay? I'm aging myself. But that's okay. I've always told my age. If anyone's here, just, kind of just tell me y'all remember this. You remember having to call one, was it one? You had to dial one to make a long distance call. Do y'all remember that? I don't know if anyone's here, but I literally, that's what I did. That's what I started working as a long distance operator. Um, and I worked from 7 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. And then I worked the grocery store. I worked from 3 to 11. And I had I had 2 jobs the whole 8 years. The last 4 years I the second job I changed the long distance operator. Um, Actually, no. I kept the long distance operator and I changed the grocery store job and I worked as an admin in a HVAC company. Yes, I worked in a HVAC office and that's where I was laid off from, at the end of, all of that. But that's why I remember I worked 4 years there. But yes, I I was literally and then I was a long distance operator and I ended up being a Spanish speaking long distance operator. So you had to dial one to make a long distance call, but there was some people who only knew Spanish. So they would call and if they needed a Spanish speaker, they would transfer the call to me. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh, okay, okay. See, we're telling our age, Lisa, because my son saw a rotary phone at a museum once, okay? And I mean, he thought he was like, "What? How did you do this?" He didn't even know how to use it. My son is one of those I was listening to your podcast. Uh my son is one of the Gen Zs. Yes, my son's a Gen Z. And I'm a Gen X. Yes, ma'am. Um, go ahead and drop your link. You mods in the chat, go ahead and drop your links. And if you would drop Miss Wellness Frugal Mama's link also and Amboy's Corner. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate all of you. Um, but yes, because he has a podcast, and that's why I was saying if she could go ahead and drop her link. But she talks about all the different generations, and so um, that's how. But I've talked about it with my son before. He's a Gen Z, and I'm a Gen X, and I've always told him I have a Gen Z and millennial children. No, I have. Well, actually, I have a millennial, right? I raised. That's my son. So yes, I have a millennial and I have a Gen Z. Yes, so do I. Um, but yeah, we've talked about it before because I always told him I'm older than Google. I didn't talk about I'm a Gen X or he's a Gen Z. I said I'm older than Google. Let's put it that way. I'm older than Google. It's true. But so anyway, I was I had to kind of get myself because I literally it's very deep for me, guys. It's very um my whole transformation. It hasn't gone overnight and I know I mentioned before and I clipped a short on it, but people have always, and I literally shared it recently with someone because there's so many people that talk about, how long does it take to lose weight or how long did it take you for this or how long, but as my sis she mentioned or she reiterated what I've always said, it's not, you have to find the root cause and you have to find why you got to that place, right? And I'm not talking about just weight. Just there's a lot of different things that traumatic events can cause, and everyone deals with those traumatic events in different ways. Some people just internalize and get angry and become their character becomes so angry or all the time because they internalize it and they don't let it out, right? Other people go, I mentioned that I see that food was basically an addiction for me, and that's what I used as comfort because of mine. But there's other people who use other things that and they get addicted to it. Um, Street drugs or alcohol or you know there's all sorts of things that people will use because of events that happen in their lives, and they basically it's an addiction, right? And they use it to mask. That's what that is. Even food for me, I used food to mask the things going on inside of me, the emotions going on inside of me that I didn't know from that child. She didn't know how to deal with, right? Um, I brought myself to 21 getting married for all the wrong reasons, thinking that that's, that was the only man that was going to ever like me. As the only man that had ever, given me any kind of attention of sorts. And that's what I was seeking, right? I was seeking attention. Um, I was seeking I had this feeling of being abandoned, right? I had an abandonment issue. And so I always felt like I don't want to be abandoned. So that one man that was giving me attention all of a sudden, I didn't want him to abandon me. And so I was trying to hold on to him and I went and got married with him. That's literally how that happened. And like I said, the whole time I was married, I carried two jobs. That girl carried two jobs. But like I said, hey, I was a long distance operator. Oh gosh. I mean, just I hadn't thought about that in so long, so that's why it's kind of just surreal for me. Um, so this is towards the end of that, the next one I'm going to share. Yes, I was a comfort eater too. I still have greedy girl tendencies. Emotional eating is an addiction. Actually, greedy girl tendencies is very real. It's very real. Um, there's, you were talking about in one of your podcasts that, when you cook, you taste. And so that's why Big Mama always, by the time she finished cooking, she wasn't hungry because she had already tasted everything. Because if you really know how to cook, okay, if you really know how to cook, you're tasting your food. A good cook tastes everything. Got to taste your food. And to this day, you know, I don't eat as much as I used to be able to. Okay. However, by the time I'm done cooking, because I cook, I can cook. Okay. Um, but by the time I'm done cooking, I'm not hungry anymore. And then people think that I don't eat. But I do. I do. It's because I cook and I'm a very good cook. And I have to taste what I cook. I really do. So actually today I made some soft rolled chicken tacos for my son and some refried beans. And so I literally when I went to taste and everything, I said, "Oh, Joe did that." And my son's going, "Yes, Mama, you did that." Because I just like kind of put something together and I made it work and it was good too. Um, yes. Um, so I wanted to share another picture. This is literally towards the end of that 8-year marriage. I know I want to taste some of your Mexican food. Girl, I did that today. I really did. My son was, he how when someone tastes your food and they really like it and You know, I'm the type that I literally will serve and then I'm like waiting for you to eat. I literally do that. Every time if I cook for my bestie, I serve it and I'm just over waiting to see what he's gonna say. And I mean, you can just imagine, and you're like, but that's me. That's what I'll literally just be watching because I want, that reaction. I want to know what they think, and that's how I was with my son earlier. Anyway, it was good though. It was goody. Can't wait. But so towards the end of that marriage, I told you I was going to share a picture. Um, this is she. This is she. This is she. You see that bottle in front of me too? Yeah. Um, I don't think this was right at the end at all. I have others at the end, and I do want to share that because you can see you can see my face there. You can see I'm not the happiest of, but I literally, when I look at this, I'm telling you, when I look at this, I see myself inside. It's like it was like a I don't know, like a clone of me. I literally see myself inside that body. I literally do. Um, and I made a little thing that I want to share, okay? But I want to share it because this is at the end of that marriage, okay? This is literally she, okay? And I know, hold on, you need to stop. She starts playing, and I hope I didn't lose you guys. Okay, no, there you are. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to share this because this is literally at the end, and I know some of you have probably seen it before, but you can see in my face, okay, you can see in my face my whole demeanor. That was me at the end of that marriage. You can tell in my face. I'm not uh, I'm not too happy. If you had any doubts at all, what happened there? But I'm literally my late 20s here. Hmm. I'm literally 29 years old, stepping out of a marriage that I was not pregnant. I never had any children at that time. But yeah, that is she. That was Joe. And that's pretty much, oh, and I just noticed, guys. I'm literally just seeing this. But do you see this right here? Do you see my cursor on the screen? Right here. I smoked for 10 years, and at that time I smoked. And that's a cigarette box right there. And this is literally, I'm not joking. This is literally the first time that I noticed it in this picture, and I've seen it many times. Uh, I smoked at this time So you can imagine all of this going on, and she smokes cigarettes. Those ultra, what were they, Marlboro Light 100s? Yep, I was a smoker. It was actually my first husband who taught me how to smoke. I remember sitting in front of my grandmother's house, and he taught me. He literally, with a cigarette, taught me how to smoke. Literally. I mean, literally. He taught me how. And both of us uh, smoked that whole time. But it was before I got married, I had started smoking, and so it was about 10 years that I smoked. I literally had to stop when I had my gastric bypass surgery. Um, and that's when my parents found out that I smoked. No, that's another one. Not the Marlboro. So sad. You kicked that habit. Yes, ma'am, I did. I really did. And I actually kicked it cold turkey. I really did. Um, that's another story. But I literally kicked it cold turkey. All of the things to teach someone that is one of the worst of all of the things. Exactly. And I remember, girl, when I tell you, I remember sitting in front of my grandmother's house and he was teaching me how to smoke. It's just so surreal. And smoked the whole time, too. The whole time we were married, in other words, right? Um, even afterwards, but I did. I kicked it cold turkey the day that I was in my religion or in my belief. We are baptized, water baptized. And the day that I was water baptized, I quit smoking for good. And I never touched another cigarette to this day. I literally lost all desire, all, I mean, when whenever, if you're not a smoker or if you haven't smoked for a while, uh, Miss Frugal Mama, if you haven't smoked for a while and then you smell it, at some point, um, maybe you may desire it. I'm not sure. But me, at that point, I literally lost all desire. From one day to the next, I lost all desire. It was like I would be around it and I couldn't stand the smell. I mean, that's how cold turkey I stopped and I lost it all. But that's another testimony, right? But I mean, it's true. I hadn't talked about that in a while. But I literally did stop from one day to the next, which was great, but especially being as heavy as I was. I mean, if you just looked at that picture and she smoked, and that I couldn't believe. This is the first time that I noticed that that pack of cigarettes was there. And I mean, I know it's for a reason to just remind me that I literally smoked at that time. I literally remember when I was married at that time, my first husband had to take me to the hospital. I never had asthma in my life or anything like that. But there was once that I was, kind of congested the way I am now, if you can tell that I'm a little bit stuffed up. I'm past it though now at this point. But I was like congested and everything, smoking anyway, okay, congested and heavy. I mean, you can just imagine, okay. And my husband had to take me to the emergency room. I couldn't breathe. And they literally had to do a breathing treatment at like an asthmatic breathing treatment. And I mean, it took forever to open up my lungs again because I couldn't breathe. I was wheezing. I mean, I literally remember this, and these are all thoughts that I hadn't thought of in forever. So there's a reason why I'm thinking about them right now. I don't know what it is, but I'm sharing. Um, I was just too heavy. There was no reason for me to be smoking and so heavy. I mean, smoking as it is, right? But being that heavy, you know? And I mean, I remember that time. And even after that, guys, even after that, you know, that horrible, you know, time, I mean, I wasn't even asthmatic, but I had to have these breathing treatments. It was, I'm feeling like, like remembering the memories. Um, I went back to smoking after that. I did. I was so, I mean, it was just things that you do that you just don't understand why you do them, but that's something that I did, literally. So let me read. Sorry. I get all these feelings, because all these memories I really not had not thought of in so long, and they're just coming at me. Definitely still do, but it's getting back. I get it. I thought I had heard, this morning, when you were working out this morning. That's why I mentioned that. But it'll, one of those things that they say if you do it long enough, right, you get used to it, and vice versa. So if you don't do it long enough, um, but I got you covered, girl. I got you covered. You got this. You got this, Virgo Mama. You really do. Thank you for joining Joe talk about her amazing transformation story. Don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, please hit the like button. I appreciate you all. Um, I'm just as I'm going, I don't. There's a lot of just memories and thoughts that are literally, coming at me, and I really hadn't thought of. And then seeing that box of cigarettes, I really didn't. I didn't plan on mentioning any of that, but I just literally saw it, so I had to mention it. Um, it's a lot for me. It really is. So, but so that took me to the end of a chapter in my life, right? Um, oh, actually, here is one more picture of that time. Um, the I don't know if anybody saw the thumbnail that I used, but that thumbnail before is from that time period when I was in my 20s, basically, the before picture. Here is one more, and it's actually um it's actually during the same time as actually the same day as the before picture that I used for my thumbnail, but I'm facing the opposite way in the thumbnail. And so I want to go ahead and show this one. That way you see the front view, so you know it is me. Well, I don't know if I mean I think it looks like me, right? I mean my face. But so this is the picture on the thumbnail. I'm facing the opposite way. Um, but this is me looking at the camera sideways. I'm actually carrying a glass of wine. Wine has always been my little my little vice that I always have liked. But I mean, I never, it was never anything big or anything like that. No. But this is that picture that I have on my thumbnail. If you notice the thumbnail is a better full view of me, of my body at that time than this picture. But that's me with my stomach still at this time. I will mention that after I did have weight loss surgery at 34 years old, I had weight loss surgery. Um, as I've mentioned before, that my top recorded weight was 525 pounds. That was the top at that time. I know I've mentioned before, but I at that time we didn't have digital weighers, and the manual weigher did not I couldn't weigh myself on a manual weigher. Um, they only go up to about 350 pounds. I think back then they were less though. For some reason, I'm always thinking that back then they didn't even go to 350 pounds. Um, but I'm not sure of that. I know today they go up to about 350 pounds. So I was never able to actually weigh myself back then. So I never really knew my exact weight. And before I had weight loss surgery, I had to get on a liquid diet. I was not someone though that they required at that time. They didn't require me to lose any weight or anything at that time when I had weight loss surgery. I had a Roux-en-Y um, gastric bypass is what I had at that time. Um, that one is a procedure that they basically cut your stomach down to the size of an egg and reroute your intestine on your stomach. Cut it off on one end and they reroute it to another end of the stomach. The stomach is now like an egg, which is only 2 ounces, and they cut it off at the one end of the stomach and they reroute. They cut off, I think, I don't know if you know, about 10 inches of small intestine, and they reroute it to the other side of the stomach. So it's a big, very invasive procedure. So, if you could do me a favor and let your brother know that I'm live. Um, he is going to work tonight, and I don't know if he knows that. I don't. Is it the long or small? I cannot remember. I think we talked about it in one of our lives, and I think we did find that it was the small intestine. Not sure. Hmm. Now I'm. Thank you. Now just because you asked that, now I'm second guessing myself. But I remember when we did a live before and we were discussing it and we looked it up. I remember that, but now I'm not sure of which intestine it is. But I know they cut off a piece and they reroute. Um, but anyway, so that was the procedure that I had. That is the procedure at the time that was more prevalent for the more morbid obese of a person, right? Because I was so much heavier. That was something that was suggested for me at that time. Um, I do want to mention uh, I'm not a health practitioner. I'm not a doctor. Please seek medical advice in anything that you decide to do. Um, in anything you decide to do or you choose to do, this is only my opinion. I'm not a professional at all. I'm a professional in my life, in my journey, because I've lived it and it's been for me. So anything that I share is literally my personal opinion only. I have to mention that because I do have my opinions, and I have been asked before to give, talks and things like that, because I've been in, this weight loss journey for a very long time now. And, so because I've been at it so long, they've asked for my opinions and they've asked me to speak to others who are just starting out and or just trying to plan to start out, right? Hey, there's my bestie. Thank you for stopping by. I know you're on your way to work. Don't worry about it. But I did ask sis to let you know that I was live because I got your, message. So I know you're on your way to work, but I wanted you to know I apologize. Okay, but I just decided to go live. I've been actually debating it all day, and I literally just had to get out of my mind and second guessing and overthinking things. And I just wanted to come on here and just be myself and just tell my story. I hope she never listens to my live. I'm here to tell my story. But anyway, so yeah, I wanted to get out of my head and second guessing myself and just trying to just make it perfect or scripted or whatever. And that's not me. I realize that's not me and that's not how I can tell my story because it's my story. It's not anybody else's to tell, right? And I just want to just peel back the layers as I go, um, because there's a lot of layers. But today, just to give a little synopsis of where I've been, today I wanted to give a visual, you know, s- a visual just transformation journey of where I've come from. I've talked a lot about how I have literally transformed in my life, and I realized that I had some visual footage that is very rare from the time that I was born, right? We didn't have video, we didn't have pictures or smartphones to take pictures all the time. But I actually do have some pictures that I was able to I came across my cousin. We were going through a lot of pictures of hers, and why anybody had all these pictures of me, I don't know. But she had a lot of pictures. I mean, like every single year of my elementary. And I was like, that was crazy. And I actually had a picture of me when I was 10 years old. So I just wanted to come on here and actually give an actual visual because I felt that that was something that could help somebody, help someone actually visually see that this was not, this transformation was not a roller coaster. Um, 10 years old and that girl kept going up. Uh, she thought she was going to the mountains, right? I don't know. I don't know. But there was reasons for it. Yes, we know. But um it's just been very surreal going through these pictures, going through these memories. When you get a chance, Bestie, I want you to go back so you can see something I noticed in one of the pictures. Something I've never noticed, and I know I've shown you the picture before. And I literally watching the picture, looking at the picture today, I noticed something I had never noticed before. And you already knew about it, but I literally had never noticed it in the picture before. But the content in this intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider. Thank you, E. I appreciate you posting that. Because it's very I had to mention that because even on uh my thoughts about whether getting the the weight loss surgery or not or anything, those are literally just my thoughts and that's it. Each person has to do what you need to do for yourself. That was the best thing for me at that time. It was only a tool. It was only a tool. I had to realize, and I've learned this along the way. It's only a tool, and it literally And my doctor has also told me it's only good for about 18 months. So when they reroute your stomach and your stomach, everything, it works for about, that tool is working for you in the weight loss surgery that I got. It works for you for about 18 months. So what people need to do at that time is actually relearn how to eat right, or everything. They should have started relearning beforehand, is in my opinion. That's what I would suggest, and I would, coach today. Relearn ahead of time, so get with a nutritionist so you know how to prepare yourself to start eating, um, once you have that surgery, because you have just a certain time frame to relearn a new lifestyle of sorts, and that way it'll maintain, and it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. I mean, when I tell you, that is not just a hashtag that I've used for, I mean, I've used that hashtag when in my Instagram posts, like, forever, but it's really true. It's it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. And I mean, anybody who would ask me, that is very, very true, to this day. Um, and it's just one day at a time. I tell people all the time, like, don't think about it, like how long, people, I know I started saying this earlier, and I don't think I even got the thought across, but people ask, how long did it take you to lose weight, or how long has it taken, or how long but it's not the time frame. It's a For me, at least, for me, it's been a lifestyle change. It's been a healing change. It's been growth in my life. That's what's been the change for me. It hasn't been about weight loss. And that's the reason that I want to share this, because it's been about peeling back the layers, like, like those. Have you ever peeled the little layers on an onion? In chemistry, did you ever have to peel the little layers on an onion, and just, I mean, that's the type of layers that I'm talking about. I'm talking about just those minute little layers that you just peel back, and you just grow from it, and that's the healing. That's where true healing comes from. And that is what I want to share, because that not until that point is when people actually will get over, or get past, or get beyond the things that you're going through. Like, why do you do the things that you do, you know but until you peel back those layers and realize why you were doing those things, that's when you'll be able to sustain the things that you let go of. And I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. But that's why I wanted to share all of this. Um, okay, sorry. So at this point in my life, I'm now in my 30s, and I had some weight loss surgery. I'm so sorry. I'm overweight, but identify as transgender. I'm so glad you're here. You came at it. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. E said, yes, bariatric surgery is only a tool. Absolutely. And yes, 18 months is correct. Yes, I knew we had talked about it before in a previous live. UK, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. But you can't. I saw some videos the other night, Mister, of you. He's not. That's not just his name. He is a retired medic for real, and just jumping out of planes, and scuba diving, and um, being a Superman and avoiding wrecks and then having to take care of people and care flight them. Oh. But you've come a long way. You came at it. You've come a long way. But oh, and it's the rerouting of the small intestine that about 75% is removed, which cause malabsorption, the need for a lot of supplements. Yes, and that is very true. That's one thing I remember from the very get-go. I remember this clear. My doctor at the time, my surgeon at the time, he told me at the time, he said, you will have to take your at the time he told me a multivitamin and a B complex, a super B complex you will have to take for the rest of your life. I remember him saying that to this day. um, that's what he told me. You will have to take it the rest of your life, the supplements basically, right? They have evolved along the way, throughout the years from 30 years old now to now. But that is something that I remember him mentioning: protein and your supplements for the rest of your life. And I remember him telling me that. And that's something that I've never deviated from. I've actually added supplements, but I remember him telling me that. And that's something that I've just never deviated from at all. I mean, I've made sure that I take my supplements and I research and what supplements I need more of, because of whatever as my age and life has evolved, I, look into what additional supplements I need and I can use and can, help me. So that hey Kevin, thank you. Salute everybody else in the chat. Thank you for stopping back by. I appreciate you, Kevin. UK, I've lived a full life, that's for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. I appreciate you, UK. I really do. Yes, he's very. You should check out his. Oh, can you drop his link, E, if you would please. He is a content creator. Actually, he has really helped me a lot in videos. He's a great videographer. Is that what you would call it, UK Medic? He puts videos together very well. Let's put it that way. I don't know what you call it, but he does a great job. I mean, he really does. If you could drop his link, that would be great. Um, yes, my attorney, Kevin Corpening. I've never known how to say that name, Corpening. That is right. That's the way. I've never. Every time E says your last name, I've never actually looked at it to see if she's saying it right. UK, obesity is a deliberate act by the food manufacturers to make us sick and rely on pharmaceuticals. It's all about money. Ah, that is so, you just said like a whole mouthful in that one statement. Yes, sir. Yes, you did. And it is so true. Um, it is so true. It is. Yes, sir. Nah, I'm just, no, you're not. Okay, thank you for dropping his link. I appreciate it. Oh my God, Charles, thank you for stopping by. I'm honored. I really am. Hello, Joe Delaney, mods and chat. I appreciate you stopping in. If you could drop his link, anyone, everybody, please drop his link. He is a content creator. Uh, Charles, I appreciate you being here. I really do. Sticks in charge. Sticks in charge. I promise. Oh, I think you mentioned it in one of your lives, Charles. I wonder if people mind their real name. I don't know if it was you. I'm sorry, but I hope everyone's having a great evening.
I hope you don't mind me using your real name. That's what I meant. So true. I'm glad to see that you are alive. I know, right? I'm trying to get out of my head and just do it. That's what I'm trying to do, Charles. I'm trying to just get out of my own, you know, and just do it because I've been wanting to for a while. And I've been wanting to for a while, and I just had to just do it. I saw your live. I had to stop by and support you. Either name is fine. Thank you. This is Charles, everyone. Sticks in charge. I don't mind. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. And thank you for dropping us, Leafy. I appreciate it, honestly. Um, but so yes, so I've been just going through my transformation that actually started at 10 years old, pretty much. Um, and I was one of those that I just kept going up. I was reaching for the stars and I just kept going up. By the time I ended up being in my 30s, I was found myself at 525 pounds. That was my top recorded weight. I come from a time when we didn't have digital weighers at the time. It wasn't until I went to have weight loss surgery, and I know for a fact, I recall for a fact that was the first time that I had ever used an actual digital weigher. So I was 34 years old at the time. It's 4 a.m. here. I set my alarm to get up so I could stop by and support. Thank you. I appreciate it, UK. I really do. You can get your sleep though. I don't want your wife to get upset with me. Let her know, you just had to say hello. Please, please. But no, honestly, um, I really found myself at 34 years old and I was 525 pounds at that point in my life. I decided to have weight loss surgery. I had very evasive, right? Evasive. I had I had a procedure that just kind of rerouted everything. And so it took me a long time to just get used to the whole new. I have had, it was in 2017. Oh, I'm thinking. I believe it was about 2017. I had a revision done because it was something that, I had regained some weight, but I had had a child uh, after I lost weight, after I lost 200 pounds, and my doctor gave me the okay to go try to have a baby. I was remarried. Um, I had a second marriage, and I was remarried at this time, and my surgeon gave me the okay after I dropped 200 pounds that I could try to have another child. I mean, a child. Um, I had never had a child before. And sure enough, once I started trying to have a baby and I had dropped that weight, mind you, I was still 325 pounds, right? But I was very healthy. I didn't have any morbid obesity illnesses. And once I started dropping that weight, um, I came out pregnant pretty quickly after I tried. I started trying after dropping weight. They say that is very common that once you get healthier, if you're overweight, and once you get healthier, you're able to get pregnant pretty quickly if you're fertile, of course, right? And I did. Um, I had a child. I had a son in 2008. So after that, I had problems with my surgery. Um, I had some skin removal um, at I was 300 pounds and this is after after I lost my child, and I was still 300 pounds and I had skin removal, my stomach. I shared how my stomach looked. I'm going to share it again because I want you to have a of why they had to remove this stomach that I had. Because I want to give some information on that. So this is um, this is the stomach that I carried. I carried my weight in my upper body. That's where I carried most of my weight. Well, sorry, that is not true. I carried in my lower body, I carried my weight, but I meant my midsection, my butt, my legs. That's where I carried my weight. It was not up here upper, but my stomach and my legs. My legs were really, really big. That's in another picture that I had shared. You can see my legs. Um, the music is playing on this thing and I'm trying to stop it before I share it. But so I want to share this so you can just get an idea of, see, I think you can see this picture I'm sharing. I'm sitting down on the couch and I carried my weight all in that my stomach, my legs, my feet. I was very, very, very swollen all the time, my legs. And I carried that weight there. So when I went and had the skin removal on my stomach, and it was 15 pounds of skin that they removed. And all of that was 15 pounds of skin that when I had that they call it was a tummy tuck and skin removal. Um, I didn't have just the penniculectomy or whatever. I didn't have just skin removal. It was a tummy tuck at the time. I was 300 pounds at the time though, but I just had so many issues with the skin hanging. I would get so much rash and everything that my doctor felt that, we need to go ahead and um, put into the insurance so they can get this removed because I was having so many issues at that time with having that skin hanging like that. And like I said, it was 15 pounds of skin. So I did have that removed. They actually agreed to pay for it. Yes. Sticks in Charge says, Delaney, you're an inspiration. I appreciate your dedication in your weight loss journey. Stay motivated and encouraged. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm proud of you and happy for you. Great job on your journey. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, but a lot of the things that I've mentioned, it's more than a weight loss journey for me. It's a lot of healing for me, and that's the only way that I've been able to sustain it this long. Like I said, in 2017, I had a revision done. I had a hernia. There was a problem with my surgery, and it was growing. So I had mentioned in this procedure that the intestine had been cut off of the one side of the stomach and rerouted. Well, in that portion where it was cut off, the intestine, there's like a nub that's left. Well, that nub started growing. Food started getting into that section of my stomach and growing. And it's like a piece of the stomach is trying to grow. And that was literally pushing out of onto me and causing a hernia. Um, it was literally pushing out, on me. And I waited a long time before it was a hernia. Uh, tear on my stomach lining that just kept going, and I would literally push it to just sustain myself. And I worked out. I started the first thing I did after I had weight loss surgery, because I was so heavy, as I shared, me sitting on that couch, I was so heavy. So the first thing that I did is I got in a pool, and I started trying to do exercises in a pool. Um, don't ever, you know, don't ever think that that does not help if you get into a pool and swim, that there's so much resistance in your body that it really, really is a whole full body workout. If you're swimming specifically, at that time, all I did was just walk in the pool. And I mean, it doesn't matter where you start, but just start. I promise it'll help you. But that's how I started, literally, being that heavy. Okay. And so that's what I would do. I would get into the pool and I started. So it wasn't like I wasn't doing anything. Um, and having that problem in my, in my, with my surgery, it started pushing out onto my stomach lining. Remember, this is after having a child, um, and everything. So it was the hernia. It it literally, I remember being on my stomach and I would feel these pains and I would go into a fetus position, because it was something that was literally pushing out into my stomach. I mean, like, to the surface of my stomach, right? From my stomach to the my you know what I mean? It was just like something was pushing out against me, and it was hurting so much that the only way that I would be able to deal with the pain is I would go into a fetus position. And I didn't know that when I was going into the fetus position, I was pushing it back in. It was literally going back into me, you know, because basically what I was explained, the where I had that hernia, um, it was basically a tear in my stomach lining, and that inside excess um, nub that was growing in my stomach was basically, every time I ate, basically, right, food was getting lodged into the wrong place, creating an extra, something to grow on my stomach, and it was pushing out into my stomach lining. And so every time it was pushing out, it was really hurting. And I would go into a fetus position, and it was literally pushing it back in. And I didn't know that, but that's the only way I felt, better. And so then I got to a point where I learned, I didn't know that that's why I was feeling better. But I got to a place where I started pushing it back in myself so much that I remember my son's 2, 3, 4 years old, and he would walk around, and he thought, because I had this for a long time. Guys, I had this for years. I mean, I had this was going on with me for a long time, and it probably was after my pregnancy, right? Because I ate, like, I was having to eat like every 2 hours, trying to feed my son inside of me, and trying to keep myself fed, because I had weight loss surgery. It was the toughest. I don't know, how a regular pregnancy would be, but having had weight loss surgery and then being pregnant, it was the toughest thing. It really, just trying to drink separate from eating, because I couldn't eat and drink at the same time because I'd get full too fast. And then I felt like I was constantly either eating or drinking water, or drinking. Back then I drank unsweet tea, for real. I was, my son loves tea, by the way. But it was tough. So I don't know if that, during that time period is when my stomach started, this problem. But it was something that, um, was literally pushing out, cutting into my stomach lining. By the time I went and had this hernia fix, guys, they told me, yes, I love Unsweet Tea too, Charles. Um, by the time I had the hernia fixed and the revision done, they told me it was about 4 inches long. The stomach lining tear. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Um, and that's why I had the revision, because that extra part had grown out. So basically, you know how they say your stomach starts expanding, or stretching, right? Well, it was stretching, but it was stretching wrong, right? It was stretching and creating an extra plate or an extra thing, or I don't know. So that's what was going on with me. So they went and fixed it, and re fixed my line, fixed my hernia. And so that's what happened. And so therefore, basically, I got back down to that 2 ounce little pouch again, that they call, it's about the size of an egg. And I uh, started doing everything again, right? Um, but during that time, I worked out. Okay. I'd basically get on, I was not a YouTube queen, by the way, I have to mention. I would get on Instagram and I would try to learn from others who worked out. I was into the fitness uh, community and just trying to learn, basically. I mean, because she was not, she was not an athlete, never was before in my life. But there she is, trying to do the best that I can, um, learning. But she was a big one. But hey, I was staying in the gym. It was something that I liked doing. I enjoyed doing, and I just continued to do. Um, the more weight that I lost. This all actually is the time period when 2017 took me into. I literally, in 2019, my bestie, I had a second skin removal, and this is in my upper body. I had my arms, had that excess skin hanging pretty long, pretty much. I had the back skin that just hung, all the way here around and everything. And I did go for a second round of skin removal that I paid out of pocket. And I had international surgery done in Mexico. And my bestie and I went in 2019 to Mexico, and he was, you know, my caregiver at the time and watching out for me. But yeah, so we went to Mexico, and I had that round of skin removal done. And but after that, COVID happened. I was scheduled for a third round, which is my legs. That's the third round that I have not had done because I was pre-scheduled for 2020, but we all know what happened in 2020. So everything shut down, including the gyms here. I'm so glad, I heard the other day, I finally caught that you said or it was in your podcast, I think, right? That you mentioned that your gyms did not close down, but they took it outside and y'all were able to work out. That is like the smartest thing ever. We actually here, we started purchasing a lot of things to be able to work out, bands and things like that, that Bestie, I had even purchased, dumbbells and stuff, right? So there was a lot of things that we did trying to purchase and have on our own and start, yes, looking into more supplements and things that we needed to improve our immunity. And so those are the things that we started doing during quarantine. But as soon as quarantine lifted and our gym started opening up, that was me back in the gym, uh, literally. Um, I went right back in the gym and started trying to just work it out, because what I noticed during that time is I didn't even realize that everything that I was doing at the time prior to um, prior to being in the gym and things like that, a lot of the things that I was doing was actually helping me, and I didn't know that. Um, just moving, just basically um, continuing to move and uh, stay active and things like that. Um, those things were actually just being just really helping me. But as soon as we got back in the gym, this is me in the gym out in the country, and I'm just working it out again, just trying to during quarantine, I think I put on a few pounds. I probably about 100 pounds, I think. I was around 285, I guess. And hi, Miss Destiny. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hello. Um, but yeah, so after quarantine and I got back in the gym and just started working it out again, and I have not looked back. Uh, I have not looked back. I mean, there is just too many things that I've learned. I realized that just I found out that and this is one of the things I know. You've mentioned things that the good things that have come out of you know having had COVID and having had that experience. Um, One of the good things that I found out is that what was happening when I was sedentary again, and now working from home and things like that, my legs were swelling back up again so much that I realized being at home and not wearing my tights was causing the swelling to just get really bad in my legs. And I didn't realize that wearing the compression on my legs was actually helping me, helping the swelling, helping the circulation of sorts. And so once I was in quarantine and I wasn't wearing the tights because I wasn't going anywhere, right? I wasn't going to the gym or going anywhere. And wearing compression tights was something that I always did because of all the skin that I had in my legs, right? That I carry in my legs. But one of the things that I learned is that because I wasn't wearing them, it was causing one of the things that they told me to do is wear compression, right? And I was like, well, but I didn't realize it until I was in quarantine that I wasn't wearing the compression, that was causing me to get very swollen and just the circulation was very poor. So that's one of the things I realized from then. So that's why today one of the wellness things that I make sure that I do for myself is I go have leg compressions done on my legs, because I naturally, or not naturally, but because of my body type and my family, it's hereditary. I have poor circulation, and then because of the way I carried my weight, all in my lower extremities, I've had poor circulation, and then I've found out that I have osteoarthritis. But all of that, if I do that leg compressions, it really, really helps my circulation continue, even if I'm not moving as much. Or today I do. believe me. But that's why, Miss Destiny, I was telling you the other day in one of your lives, Miss Destiny, uh, she is someone who, I'm not sure of your age. She's one of, an older lady like I am. And she jump ropes. She dances on her treadmill. And I'm like, man, if I still had knees like Miss Destiny, I would love to jump rope. But that's something that, I'm not able to do. But I just love watching Miss Destiny just jump that rope, um, because that's something that just really does help that circulation in the legs and everything. So I mean, it's just great. It really is. And I just love watching her. That's why I love watching her. I'm like, oh, Miss Destiny, if I had them, that the knees you have, that's where I'd be too. Maybe one day. One day, I know, Dr. Destiny, I'm gonna be jumping that rope just like you. But Ms. Wellness, Frugal Mama says, Dr. Destiny, um, thanks, E. Yes, thank you for dropping her link. I do appreciate it. Blessings to you. Hello and blessings, Wellness Frugal Mama. Thank you for dropping Charles's link. I appreciate it. But yes, so that's what I mean. Honestly, I really believe I was mentioning this, I think, in one of my sis E's lives. Um, I think a lot of good came out of personally. A lot of good came out of the time that we were quarantined. I know a lot of people would probably beg to differ, but in a sense, I've always seen it as, in my beliefs, God just had to kind of rattle our ground, just kind of shake us up and tell us, hey, you need to wake up. You're not doing something right, and y'all need to just wake it up. Because that's for me. For me, I mean, just not wearing the compression, it just woke me up and realized, hey, this is something I need to do. I need to do this more often. And actually, that's when I found out that I had the osteoarthritis because I was having so much extra pain in my legs. I was having, and that's what caused the inflammation and the swelling to occur. And for me to go get checked and then to come and find out, oh, I have this issues in my legs. And so that's what actually brought it to surface for me. It's not that it was brand new, but it's something that's how I found out about it, and I know how to treat it, and that's why I do the extra things that I do today to make sure that I'm, staying on the up and up for my wellness, right? So that's why I talk about that. Um, But yes, so that pretty much takes me through, during quarantine. It just brought me back to working out and getting back in the gym and doing all the things that I still do today. But it literally just took me back and just started working it out. And so that's been since what, 2021, right? And Nothing, nothing new under the sun. It's just everything I started doing back when we got into the gym again. And today I am I don't have any pictures of me in the gym, but that's what I show all the time. So I just actually wanted to share this picture of me this past weekend. Uh, I actually was back home in my hometown for the first time in a really long time. Um, and Ooh, that was a big one. Uh, I don't know how big I can make this, but that's she. That's me. This is me, just like when she started, huh? But and that's a journey. Yeah, that's been a transformation of mine. Um, from where I started, where I first shared. I really, to me personally, I really, for the first time, guys, and I'm sharing this for the first time. Um, for the first time, I actually can see her again. I really can. For the first time, I can see her again. Because if you weren't here, one of the things that I shared. Hey, Bestie, thank you for stopping back by. I know you're at work. No worries. But one of the things one of the things that I shared today is that the time when I was very heavy, um, I literally felt like I was in another body. I felt like I personally was in an outer shell of a body that surrounded me. Um, that was like it was something in my 20s that really took me to that place where I had this surreal moment of that's not really me. Like I didn't think that my body extended as far as it did. And I literally went through that memory earlier and I really literally felt like I was stuck inside of an outer shell. I don't know how to explain that any better than that, but I really felt like I was inside and I was lost inside of that body. And when I saw this picture, um, and my cousin shared it with me, and I literally see myself again for the first time. Good night, Charles. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Good night, all. I'm going back to bed. I have busy work scheduled tomorrow. Thanks for a great live, Joe. Have a great night, all. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate you stopping by. I really do. I'm wrapping it up. But literally, this is the first time that I see myself again. Um, and that's why I actually shared this picture um, on my Instagram side by side because for the first time I can see myself, you know, in that picture that I shared before. So, and I mean, it's very surreal for me. It's been a very deep share of my journey. But just I figured just being able to visually see the journey that I've had um, would basically help others, and help others understand when I speak of having a transformation. Because for me, that transformation was not just about weight loss at all. It's been about healing. It's been about growth. It's been just so much more than just weight loss. And I think that if I saw it as just weight loss, it's something that I would not be able to sustain. It's something that I would not be able to take on, and just continue. Hey, Eve, thank you so much for stopping by. I truly appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Blessings, everyone in the chat. Thank you. Um, but and that's why I wanted to share. I wanted to share. Yes, that I know I saw something. Miss Destiny said the inner child within all of us is waiting to make their appearance again to meet our adult selves. And that is exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt when I saw that picture. And then I'm wearing red, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to make, make trying to understand for myself, how or why, but that's got to be it. Um, you know, seeing me in red and seeing it side by side, with me today, and it just took me for the first time, I feel like I've come full circle. And it's been just so surreal, and I wanted to share all of this today. I really, hope that it's something that it's very overwhelming. It's very um, deep for me, and it's been really, you know, I just hope that I can inspire someone else, with that, with sharing the visual. It's just so much different, when you actually see um, how far I've come, and it's not just about weight loss at all. But I hope everyone, I hope all I made sense with everything that I shared, and I'm so thankful for all of you being here. I want to cry right now because it was just so a lot of you know the memories that I went through. It was just some memories I hadn't thought about in so long. I really thank everyone for being here. If you even stuck it out with me, I appreciate it. And I thank you. Thank you to my mods. Thank you, E. I really appreciate it. I really do. Um, thank you so much for all of y'all being here. I really do appreciate it. From the beginning, Amboy's Corner, I thank you for being here. I truly do. Lisa J. Stocks, thank you for the little tips. I promise. I thank you. Blessed Life Journey, I know you stopped in at the beginning. I really appreciate it. Yomi Hunter, thank you, son. I truly appreciate it. The Bud Files, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope everyone hit the like button. I can't even see where is what. But Wellness Frugal Mama, thank you so much. I know you get up early, so you're probably already gone. But I know I'll be there with you in the morning. I know tomorrow's free free for all Friday. I'm not sure what you call it, but she works out every morning, guys. 6 in the morning. Kevin Corpening, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by, my attorney. And UK Medic, I know he came in. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. It's 4. What did he say? It was 4 a.m. in the morning over there in the UK. Lord, thank you, E. I appreciate. I really, honestly, I thank you so much. And I'm gonna get a text from Lisa. Don't cry or don't tell them that you're don't. What did she say to me? She said, "Don't tell them that you're nervous. Just go." Bestie, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Destiny, thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. You are such an encouragement. When I see you uh, jumping rope, I'm like, oh, I want some new knees. Charles, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Charles. I truly do. I really do. In UK, thank you so much. Oh my God, he said he was 4 in the morning. He wanted to thank you. I really appreciate it. I truly do. Did I miss anyone else? Yes, Miss Eve. She came in at the end, right? Right here. Yes, Miss Eve Hakika. Did I say it right? Hakika. Thank you so much, Eve. I really appreciate it. I think you had told me you've never seen me live. I never seen myself live. No, I've seen it before, but not often. Let's put it that way. Miss Destiny, you said we love being here with you, Joe. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yes, that is true. That is true. Joe, I'd like to invite everyone to my milestone party on the 13th December, 7:30 p.m. Kenyan time. Can you please, I don't know, I don't know the time difference, but I know you are probably, if it's nighttime here, it's morning time there. But I think are you gonna have I'll repost it on my community wall if you're gonna have like if you have a live and for upcoming, so we can put the notify and I'll repost it. Okay, Eve? Uh, oh, this is tomorrow? It's already tomorrow, right? So it's pretty soon for you, I think. Yeah. Okay, if you have it, and I'll repost it for you. Okay, I'll repost it for you, Eve. Okay. Thank you, Eve. Thank you, E, for posting Eve's link. I appreciate it. Sorry, you said my name correctly. I'm glad to see you live today. Me too. Thank you. Thank you. I had to just get out of my head. I kept overthinking it and everything, and I just had to get out of my own head. I have set the upcoming. Okay, you have said it. I'll repost it on my community wall. Okay, I'll repost it. So, but yes, ma'am. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. I am. I'm so excited for you. But oh, there she is. Okay, he just posted your actual link to your celebration. Awesome. I'll go repost it too. Thank you so much. And I just have to thank everyone for being here. I hope I made sense. I truly do. I I just want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for being here. And I'm trying to do these series every week, just to kind of peel back the layers on Thrive and Glow with Joe, and and just give you just more of a synopsis of me living a positive, healthy lifestyle. And I hope that it makes sense to people. So that's what I'm trying to share with everyone, and just peel back the layers as I try to explain. I guess I don't know, but thank you for walking down memory lane with me. It was really it was really something for me. Mr. Carl Shield, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. Good evening here. I know it's a different time. I'm sure what you're in the UK, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the UK, but I know it's morning time for you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But with that, I'll just go ahead and close it down because I appreciate everyone for being here. I really do. I hope everyone hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe. I appreciate it. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, Joe. You made perfect sense and you did absolutely marvelous hosting this live. Thank you so much, Miss Destiny. I really, Ireland, 4:40 a.m. in Ireland. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping in. I really do, Carl. I really appreciate it. In Ireland. That's awesome. But again, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to do this next week again and share a little bit more about what I call my positive, healthy lifestyle. And I hope that makes sense for everyone. But with that said, keep pushing through with me. We are stronger together.